Tommy and Frank were great golf buddies. They played for years in a foursome. We would always go with them on their golf trips. I remember Betty saying to us one time, "Alice, we need to be more productive when we go on these trips. I want us to take up golf lessons." We did. We came home, we bought clubs, we took lessons. Betty and I still playing to this day. And Betty's currently treasurer of our Ladies Golf Association.
When I came back to Gainesville in 1982 to work for the First National Bank of Gainesville, Ray McCrae, the then chairman, assigned me to work with Frank Norton and the Norton Agency. But you can imagine my excitement as a young banker and a Gainesville native. I already knew the reputation of Frank and the agency. I knew about his vision and his community leadership. So the first opportunity I had was to work to renovate the old Dixie Hunt Hotel. And of course that held a special place in my heart because I used to go to Kiwanis meetings with my dad there. So the first loan I ever made when I came back to Gainesville was for that renovation. And in my view, that was the start of the renaissance for the square in downtown Gainesville.
One of the things that I think that's so interesting about Betty and Frank is how they have grown the Norton Agency. There's just a very unusual relationship in that family that has enabled them to be one of the largest real estate agencies in this whole North Georgia area.
You know, being really a child of the 60s and growing up as the middle child of three, and I was the only daughter, and I had, you know, these brothers that were involved with everything that guys could be involved with, but there were very little for women to, very few challenges that women were allowed. And so my parents were really the very first, in my mind, women livers, because they supported the fact that women can do anything men can do. And they support the fact that as a daughter, that I should have every opportunity that my brothers would have in life to succeed, to be athletic and competitive, and to grow and to just excel, to become the leader that they knew that I could be.
When I was younger, I would visit Gainesville during the summer for a couple weeks, and the lessons that my Nana and Granddaddy taught me were just too many to count. But I remember some of these lessons, and big ones and small ones. When I was a kid, my granddaddy taught me to look a man in the eye when you meet him and shake his hand. And my Nana taught me how to pray and to be grateful for all that life has to offer. And they also taught me small lessons. Granddaddy taught me how to interlock my pinky and index finger and hold a golf club like Jack Nicklaus. And my Nana taught me how to scramble eggs.
I started working with Frank back in the early 80s on various real estate development projects in Hall County, and we worked on a number of projects. Hunt Tower, the office building in downtown Gainesville, residential golf course community, Royal Lakes. Worked with him at Sky Valley on the golf course there, converting it to a private club, and I was always impressed by Frank and how hard he worked and how deliberate and how much he planned and thought things through. He reminded me of my dad, who always told me, "Tred, you got to think," and that was usually when I had failed to do that. But Frank always thought the projects through and thought through all the issues, and that's why he was successful with those projects. I congratulate you, Frank, on this honor.
Tommy and I had just bought a new car. You know how we young people, that first car was wonderful. Still see it. It was a dark green 2-door Oldsmobile. I was in the condo and the phone rang, and this voice said, "Alice, this is Frank Norton. I've just been with for a week. I said, yes, Frank. A long story short, Frank took the car to town. He had parallel parked and opened the door, and a car came along and knocked the door off the car. We could get no help. Everyone had closed up and gone home. The men tied that car door to the car, and we drove all the way from Florida to North Georgia.
Like my brothers Bob and Frank, I followed in my parents' footsteps and I'm in the real estate industry. Little different take on it in that I am the director of real estate for a major nonprofit health care system in Charleston, South Carolina. So I've been able to carry my knowledge and the interests that I had and gained from growing up in Gainesville under the leadership of my parents and the direction of them, and I've been able to share my love and interest of real estate with another community in Charleston, South Carolina.
When we moved to Gainesville 34 years ago, can't imagine, we were met, after I signed the contract to go to Burnell, we were met by a realtor that we were told was one of the best in Gainesville, and that was Betty Norton. And Betty also, at the time, I didn't know for sure, but she was on the board of trustees at Burnell and served Burnell as a graduate many, many years, and did so in a very wonderful way.
My mother is my role model because she's not only a role model for me, but of some of my friends growing up, she was the role model because she decided early on that women could do anything that men could do, and became a business leader in the community and grew with the community and helped form and helped work alongside my dad day in and day out to make Gainesville better.
Frank, your leadership and vision and your family's vision has been amazing for what it's done to Gainesville and Hall County and North Georgia. You're much appreciated, and as they say, a job well done.
And so, as a grandchild and on behalf of all the other grandchildren, we are incredibly proud of our Nana and Granddaddy.
You are both so special. You're a special couple. I love you, and Gainesville, Georgia loves you.